Now, India's unified payments interface has left many visiting foreign leaders amazed at the technology. The latest to be smitten by the same is French President Emmanuel Macron. Macron and Modi had kuller chai at a shop near Hawa Mahal in Jaipur on Thursday. Modi paid for the tea using UPI on his phone. A surprised Emmanuel Macron watched on and noticed how Prime Minister Narendra Modi showed that the shop owner even received the confirmation of the payment on his mobile phone, after which he said that as Macron said that he wouldn't forget this chai with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi because it was paid for by UPI, Unified Payments Interface. Now, India has been making headlines with its approach towards digital payment and cashless payment. In fact, a couple of days ago only, let's listen in to what Emmanuel Macron had to say. Viewers.
And I will not forget the chai we shared together close to the palace, because it was a chai paid with UPI. And this is the perfect synthesis of why it is so special. Friendship and the warmth of such a celebration, tradition and innovation. And this is exactly what we do together and what we want to do together. And this ceremony was for me a sort of metaphor of the whole relation we want to have and we will have. And from scientific links to culture to education.
Now, French President Emmanuel Macron conveyed his enthusiasm for strengthening sports cooperation. He expressed full support for India's ambition to host the Olympic Games in the future. Macron also expressed immense pleasure at being present on this unique day, returning after 5 years from the last state visit and just months after the success of India's G20.
From scientific links to culture, to education, to defense industry, nuclear energy, and all the different sectors being present here, I have to say that the intensity is due to the fact that, indeed, we do share this willingness to have warmth and friendly common approach, to respect our tradition, especially our culture on both sides, but to build together the future. This is exactly what is core for the ambition of our own friendship. And yesterday, right before this tea, we went to the Jantar that we visited together. And I don't forget that it allowed two French Jesuit astronomers in 1734 to determine with precision the latitude and longitude of Jaipur. It was undoubtedly, as well, the first space cooperation in history. And we did it together between India and France. This is why we do want to have other space cooperations and other cooperations in all the possible fields. We signed together 2047 roadmap last July, including all possible altitudes, I would say, from the ocean to space, all the different fields, from culture to industry and digital and clean tech, and which will strengthen our bonds. This partnership is a partnership for both of us. This is a reciprocal and respectful partnership. But this is, I do believe as well, a useful partnership for the rest of the world. Because we do share the same vision of Indo-Pacific region as well. A region which should not be spoiled and trapped by the hegemony of some powers, but a region that we want to see free and open. And this free and open Indo-Pacific it's, I think, one of the anchor of the bilateral relation we have, because we do share the same values and the same principle for the whole region. I think this is exactly what we conveyed together from the COP28. This is what we will convey together, what we conveyed together during your G20, and thanks again for your leadership. And this is what we will do together from the United Nations Conference for Oceans that France will host in 2025. And definitely in the meanwhile, this is what we will do share as well for our Olympic Games that we will organize this year. And we will be delighted to build a stronger cooperation on sport and this type of event as well with you, as we will definitely support your intention to organize Olympic Games in India for the future.
All right, viewers, for more on this, I'll go to my colleague, our senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor. Abhishek, a very good morning to you. It seems India has found a very loyal friend in France, as Emmanuel Macron was all praises for India after he attended our Republic Day celebrations as the chief guest. Please take us through all the plans that India and France have together in the defense, space, industrial sector, also sports. Abhishek.
You are right, Nikita. In fact, it's a friendship which is almost shaping up as an all-weather friendship, trusted partnership and tested partnership. And President banquet by President Murmu really went out of the script and spoke from his heart with a lot of warmth. And he fondly remembered the chai that he had with the Prime Minister. He called it coming together of friendship, innovation and tradition. By innovation, of course, the UPI payment that the two leaders made. And then he said that the Jantar Mantar, which he was shown around by Prime Minister himself, mentioned about two French engineers coming in 1734 and fixing the latitude and longitude of Jaipur. So, in fact, he called it world's first collaboration between two countries in space. And then, of course, he talked about the other deliverables that have been discussed and decided upon, and which is part of the joint statement between India and France that we saw taking place yesterday. So I think from cooperation in Olympics, which the French are hosting this year, Summer Olympics in Paris, and then the possibility of India bidding for 2036, preparations for which are on by the Modi government, and in terms of space, it has been a very long-standing partnership in space. Also, remember our satellites being launched by the Ariane space from the French Guiana for decades, and of course, parallelly ISRO developing its own muscle and now fully independent. Apart from that, Rafales, in fact, the decision to set up an MRO facility for Rafale maintenance, the possibility of or almost done deal, maybe it would be announced, of getting Rafale Marines. So I think it was a very a good visit by French president. The fact, also remember the strength of the friendship, that it was almost the last minute that it was decided that instead of President Joe Biden of the United States, somebody has to be gotten, and French president immediately agreed, and that really shows the kind of lack of egotism that exists between not just France and India, but between President Emmanuel Macron and Prime Minister Modi, that he immediately agreed to come and be the chief guest. And so I think it's shaping up of an already very strong relationship, and President Macron there speaking from his heart with a lot of warmth at the state banquet, mentioning all the things which bring India and France together. Most important, of course, was, as I saw it, the highlight of it, President Macron used that opportunity to underscore the independence of foreign policy. And he said that, like France, so India, they do not belong to any camp. They are guided by their own sovereign interests from Indo-Pacific to Europe. And I think that was also an important foreign policy statement made by the French president.
Absolutely, Abhishek. Thank you so much for sharing all these details into France's Emmanuel Macron's visit to India on the occasion of Republic Day, 75th Republic Day celebration. And as our executive editor highlighted, India and France, the ties are only getting better and stronger than before. Now let's look at some other stories at this hour.